You're listening to the Hocus Pocus podcast.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 7 of the Hocus Pocus podcast. I'm joined again by Callum Holt. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good mate, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Can't complain. Not too bad.
Great, yeah. No, who cares? We're joined by a great guest. No, you can shut up. We're joined by a great guest, Mr. Samuel Waller. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, Sam.
Starts him to go on. Classic comedy. So how are you, Sam? Doing all right?
Yeah, not bad. Starting a new job this month. Well, last month. That's exciting. Right. Feel like a full-grown bloke now, not a boy anymore.
Yeah.
Voice
nice. I saw you were trying to look for a picture on your Instagram. Was that for work, was it?
Yeah, so I needed like a little photo to attach to like this internal CV thing, and thought I'd task everyone with choosing one for me. You know, nice and vague, nice and self.
Yeah, I chose the worst picture of everyone just to try and do that. Yeah, do you want to run through the rubbish bit at the start about the format?
The rubbish bit at the start. Those of you who are new listeners, you may already be familiar, so apologies if I'm boring anyone. Apparently I do that every week according to Callum, but anyway, the format is pretty simple. Everyone's picked a topic of conversation and they're going to bring it to the table in individual stages, ask a few questions, have a round table debate, and then that's kind of the gist of it. So Callum will start as per the rules of the podcast, and then guests. So Sam will go second, and then I'll go third, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. Pretty much.
All right, cool. I'll take the reins then. Just before we crack on you, and your headphones are extremely crackly.
Are they?
I don't know if you want to change those up because it's awful.
Oh, they're really bad. Well, you told me I couldn't use the other ones, so.
Well, I definitely prefer the other ones over these ones. Sounds like you're in a microwave, mate.
Okay. Well,
I'll chat to Sam while you change these over. Well, I'll kick things off. You just won't get an opinion on the first bit. Anyway, right. So the start I'm going to lead on with is unpopular opinions. Okay? So we've all got them. They're unpopular for a reason, probably because they're wrong. And I'm going to lead off. And my unpopular opinion is that Shawshank Redemption is the most overrated film on the planet.
Well,
it's the highest rated film on IMDb. I watched it. The plot is so predictable.
What is IMDb, mate? I've not heard of that site.
That's the film. It's the film reviewing thing.
It's just not. I think you're IMDb, mate. IMBD is like the bush.
Oh, whatever. Whatever. You know what I meant. It's the highest rated film on that. I watched it. I thought this is going to be cracking. This is going to be its best film of all time. It's going to be unreal. What? It's pointless. Everyone knows what's going to happen from day dot. They obviously going to escape, and it's 2.5 hours of drawn out shit. So that's why I think it's the most overrated film of all time. Discuss.
So what don't you like about it?
Yeah.
Nothing happens. It's so boring. They just sit in a prison cell and then they escape. Wow, like it's the same plot line. It's basically as Finding fucking Nemo.
Mate, it's character.
You watch Finding Nemo,
though,
you know they're going to find Nemo. You know they're going to find Nemo. And they find him. They're in a prison. You know they're going to escape. They escape. Brilliant. What's the point? Waste of time.
Yeah, but it's beyond the plot, though, isn't it, mate? It's the character development story. It's the personal journeys they go on. It's not just about...
The characters don't even look like they want to be there.
Well, they're in fucking jail, mate. Of course they don't.
Well, yeah, they're in prison.
The actors don't look like they want to be there.
So you're saying it's the most overrated film of all time? That's quite a bold statement. I'd say there's films that are more overrated than Shawshank Redemption.
No, because this is meant to be the best film of all time, and I'd give it a top 5 out of 10.
Well, firstly, that's just not true.
Finding Nemo is better, actually.
That's fucking bold.
What's another film you rate 5 out of 10?
Go on. Yeah.
Another film I rate 5 out of 10. All right, Over the Hedge.
Oh, cracking film. That's harsh.
What do you think happens in Over the Hedge? Right, just saying. If I described it to you, what happens? They get over the hedge. It ends. It's the same principle.
I just think it's beyond. Like, some movies are just like beyond the plot. Like, it's more about the development of a character than just the general movie? Like, what would you have wanted to see in Shawshank Redemption that had been like, fucking hell, this is a 10. This is a 10 on whatever site you've
What,
been
like
browsing.
massive scraps, like
Right.
like they go on out after prison to go and lead a successful like business, and then they retire to the south of France. Do you know all this kind of stuff? It's just like, what is the point? Like, literally, I'm just watching. I may as well just watch a documentary of a real prison. It's just pointless. Honestly, I think it's a joke. And the actors, yeah, great actors. Morgan Freeman, he's great in other shit. But I thought he looked half-assed in that, to be honest. He looked like he didn't want to be there.
What about his bromance with Tim Robbins? I love it.
Yeah, you know, it's great. There's many bromances in films, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Mate, remind me never to show you anything that I've ever made in my entire life, because you'll clearly rip it to shreds. Because if you can't even get higher than a 5 out of 10 on the greatest film ever, give me a film.
No, because I'll tell you what.
Give me a film that you think is better than the Shawshank Redemption that like everyone will know and be
we'll be here all day,
that's
mate.
really good.
We'll be here all day.
Well, give me one, Callum. I asked for one.
Well, he loves his bromance film, so Brokeback Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain is better film.
I see.
Okay, Wolf of Wall Street is better film.
Yeah, probably.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Shutter Island, better film.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of my favourites recently? I can't think. Is it called The Departed? Is that the one with Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio? With the police.
So have you got any ones that aren't with Leonardo DiCaprio? Because
I think. Well, I like Friends with Benefits as well with Mila Kunis and Justin.
So you would say Friends with Benefits is better than Is this your takeaway? Friends with Benefits, starring Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis, is better than Shawshank Redemption.
It's a better film than Shawshank Redemption. 100%.
Probably
because you think
in its category, yes, because it's not a comedy.
No. It's just a better film. You have the characters. They are just as developed as those, whatever you want to call them, in Shawshank Redemption. You have the plot line. It goes one way, it comes back another way, it goes another way, and then they end up in love. It's happy. It's great.
Yeah, but using your logic of the title gives it away. Surely the title of Friends with Benefits just gives it away from the outset.
But it's not, because they don't end up being friends with benefits. They end up being in love, Ewan.
You're right, which is not predictable from the start.
No, it's at one point it is predictable, and at another point it all goes Pete Tong, and you think, oh shit, they've hit a boat on the rocks here. Next thing you know, happily ever after. That is a quality film. Oh, there's loads of other films that I put in this category that are just better than that shit as well. Inception, that's a rated
Inception
film.
Inception is unreal. Inception is unreal, to be fair.
That's properly rated. Once again, Liam. Once again, he only gets cast in good films.
Leonardo on your wall there.
He's a great actor.
I'd say
one that I like that doesn't star him. You know, I'm struggling because he's one of the best of all time. The Bourne films.
Oh, the Bourne films are very good. Yeah.
Skyfall is better than Shawshank Redemption.
Mate, you're making
Skyfall is a banging film. They're not sweeping statements. This is unpopular opinions. And my unpopular opinion is that Shawshank Redemption is tops out of 5 out of 10. And the fact that it's the highest rate on that, whatever you want to call it, BMDI or whatever, is a disgrace to the other films.
That's even worse than the first attempt.
The third highest rated film is Dark Knight Rises, right?
Unreal film.
Yeah. That shits all over Shawshank Redemption. That would be top of the tree for me.
Yeah, Dark
and
Knight,
that Heath Ledger performance is better than that Morgan Freeman Tim Robbins job. It's a joke.
Although Morgan Freeman is in both.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, and his character in one was better than the other, and it's not the prison job. Honestly, when I watched it with my old man, and he was like, "What do you think of that?" Then I thought that was a load of shit. He was like, "The fact that I have to call you my son is a disgrace." Honestly,
thank you.
It's the way people look at that film is disgusting.
I feel like you've gone in at like a 4, like it off. Just feel like it's a bit overrated, and you've risen to a 10 and saying that it's an absolute disgrace that people even enjoy it.
Well, because the more I'm thinking about it, the less I enjoyed it.
The more raging you become.
Throw a film at me that you think I've seen, and I'll tell you if it's better or worse.
John Wick.
Not seen it.
I thought John Wick was terrible. Terrible. They killed his dog, so he went and killed about 50,000 blokes. It just didn't.
Actually, we'll go for this. Do you boys have any films that you think are overrated or underrated?
John Wick is very much overrated.
I really didn't enjoy Pulp Fiction as much as I should have.
I've never seen it.
Quotes there. I should have enjoyed it
Never
more.
seen it.
There's some big players. I think
It's not
the thing is with big players though is you go in with high expectations. Lesson for life is expect the worst, and when it's actually decent, then you're pleasantly surprised. That's my.
I think maybe that's the reason. I think maybe that's the reason why I hated it. Maybe if I'd gone into watching Shawshank Redemption and just thought, oh, this is a film that no one's ever heard of, I'd have gone, right, yeah, it's all right. But the fact that people rave on about it being the best piece of cinema ever is a disgrace. Plus, also, I have a rule that I don't watch anything before 2010 because why would you? It's shit. It's true.
Christ.
Why would you want a lesser quality, lesser tech? Like, think how much films developed. Why would you go back and drive a car from the 1970s that's going to fall apart all the time? Unless
it's culture, mate. It's culture.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
You're telling me.
I think now I won't watch a film before 2020. Now it's pointless. It's a joke.
Oh, mate, there's been. I mean, it's an unpopular opinion, but you've made some quite bold. So you're telling me if someone came to you with like a 1970 Porsche Carrera, you'd be like, no, I don't want it.
No chance. Well, it's different. It is different because a car still goes from A to B regardless, so that's fine.
But
a film, why would you watch? Yeah, it was a bad example. It's a fucking bad example. It's like saying, here's a sandwich that I made today, or here's a sandwich that I made 3 weeks ago. Which one are you going to eat? The one today, because it's better. Thank you very much.
So I think the car is a good example. It still gets you A to B, but no sat nav, no music system. You know, you've got to
lost and
wheel
bored.
up the light.
Brilliant.
The lights, the windows.
Yeah.
I'm lost, bored, and stuffy because I can't open the window. Joke.
Have you got any other unpopular opinions, Callum, before you lose your head about Shawshank Redemption? Any other ones you'd like to share?
I'm trying to think. Avocados taste nothing.
Right. Clearly you don't season it. Do you season your avocado? Probably not.
That's me done before I get too angry.
Right. Okay, I'm sweating profusely.
Oh, Google Sheets is a disgraceful application. And the fact that people even think about using it over Microsoft Excel is a disgrace.
Right.
That's the end.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that wondrous spiel there, Cal. That's everything you've got, is it?
Yeah, that's everything.
Got nothing left. Right. Waller, you're up, mate. What have you got for us?
You're on topic or an unpopular opinion?
Unpopular opinion, yeah.
Give us an unpopular opinion and then your topic, I reckon.
All right, so my unpopular opinion is my favourite toasty recipe is ham, cheese, banana.
No.
Pardon?
I can see both your faces, and I bet everyone listening is like, nah, I'm sorry. Thanks, guys, I'm logging off, but try it. See what you think. It's got everything.
Well, sorry, go again. Ham, beans, and banana, was that?
No,
and cheese and banana.
Oh. That's horrendous.
It starts very well. It starts very well. Ham and cheese. Good toasty.
That's
solid.
classic. Right up, everyone knows it.
May I ask how you discovered that this was a thing? Because it's not really something I would have thought that you
during his time at the mental asylum, I'd assume.
It's a family recipe. It's come from my parents.
I see.
I've got a lot of respect for your parents. I like them a lot, but hearing that's put me off them.
Like it's got everything. You just got to try it. If you try and hate it, that's fine. But I feel like I've unlocked something.
How much banana is in the sandwich? Because I like all the ingredients. I just couldn't personally put them together.
Probably half banana sliced.
Half banana sliced.
Oh, okay. That's worse than I imagined. You see, if you were doing a toasty with banana and chocolate, I'd imagine that'd be really nice. Or ham and cheese. What about ham, cheese, banana, and chocolate? I thought about going the full way.
No, but I'll get back to you on that.
Cheese and chocolate. That's horrible. Cheese and Marmite's nice.
Cheese. Yeah, that's not that weird. But I just don't see what the banana offers other than just a disappointing bite. Like, you just bite into it. You think crusty, gooey, soft, mushy shit.
Just a little sweetness.
See, I would say then you don't like the taste of ham and cheese panini, so you shouldn't be having them in the first place.
No, I do. It just, now it's
Would you
missing
eat-
something.
Do you eat a regulation ham and cheese panini? That's the real question.
Me.
Yeah, would you eat a regulation ham and cheese, or would you be like, fucking hell, I'm not
Yeah,
got banana?
because, well, if I'm ordering it in public, I can't go, oh, you got any bananas back there?
Can you please whack them in?
Should be arrested on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this joke?
I just can't see how that adds anything to it in the slightest.
That's only one way
I'll
to
take
find
your
out.
word for it.
So, the topic I want to talk about this week is there's a photo that's been circulating in the news and social media about this guy, Gordon Eliott, and he's
Right.
sat on a dead horse on the phone, throwing up a little peace sign. And for those that don't know about horse racing, Gordon Elliott's this top trainer in Ireland. He's a bit like Jose Mourinho, like he's a bit of a prick. Everyone kind of hates him, but he wins things. So he's got the most winners in Ireland at the moment. He trains horses like Tiger Roll, obviously won the last 2 Grand Nationals.
He won me some money on the Grand National.
Yeah, big deal. So there's these 2 owners that own most of the real superstars. One's called Shively Park Stud, which is like the oldest, most respectful stud farm, like most successful in Europe, really cares about horses. They've seen this photo and they're like, now we're out. We're going somewhere else. The other one's Gigginstown, which is owned by Michael O'Leary. Ryanair, Michael O'Leary.
Right.
So obviously he didn't care because what? And I did like a little bit of Googling about the kind of things that he's done, the kind of rival, not sitting on a dead horse. But all the staff at Ryanair, they pay for their own uniforms. He wanted to introduce bad flights. They used to sell booze on their flights in bags.
I have no problem with that.
Like a Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
Oh, I love a Capri Sun.
Oh, imagine a Capri Sun beer. That'd be quite exciting. That.
Oh, that'd be
So
unreal.
basically-
Who is this guy?
So basically, the massive prick agrees with other massive prick that there's not really much done
He's
wrong.
like, it's not my horse that died. I don't really care. Win me another Grand National. Cheers. But that's coming from the closest thing to Omar Barbar we have in the real world. He literally had a charity calendar of stewardesses, and there were.
Has the mate who sat on the horse, has he got any sort of I don't know if there's a horse racing governing body, has he got any retrospective action from that, or?
So there's 2, because he operates in Ireland. There's the Irish one, but the British one, they've completely banned him over here, which obviously includes Cheltenham, the Grand National, until the Irish kind of deal with him. The hearing's tomorrow morning, but it doesn't look good. All these experts in horse racing are just think you should take a break for a bit. So, Tiger Roll's out. All of his other big ones, they've moved away. So, yeah, not a good week for him. And then, it came out on the Monday, and then his birthday was on the Tuesday, which is just hilarious. And then the day after, one of his top jockeys at the Gallops, another video's come out, and he's riding a dead horse that they're just about to put it on a crane, back of the horse ambulance or whatever, and he's jumped on it, and it's shocking. The sport's already struggling, and this definitely doesn't help. So interested what your thoughts would be. What would you do?
My first thought is that I missed the days where we were talking about bananas and paninis, because that sounded lovely now. But my actual thoughts on it, I'm going to keep this brief because I know exactly what I think, and there's nothing that can change my opinion on this, is that he should be banned, the guy, Gordon Eliott. The jockey should be banned. He should be very heavily fined, and the jockey has all of his horses or whatever stripped of him and just given away so that he gets no financial reparations from it. He should never jockey again, never do anything in the horse racing again, and he should be in prison.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe
That's my opinion.
I'd say a lifetime ban for anyone concerned wouldn't be disproportionate. Just I think if you like say, oh, we think you should take a break, you're basically saying that you agree with it in a way, because you're not really taking a stand. You're being like, ooh,
lay low for him.
Yeah, and then what's to say that he'll just come back and then this time he won't be caught. Do you know how it? I've seen it circulating around. How did it actually come out? Because that's the thing that I was wondering about. Like, did he post it himself, like by mistake, the bloke, and someone saw it?
So it came out and it was kind of early dismissed. Everyone's like, oh, it's a fake. There's no way he did that. And then it kind of caught enough attention where he needed to put a statement out, and he kind of like confirmed, like regrettably, that it was real, and then kind of left it there. What an idiot, though.
Shit.
See, what sticks in my mind is obviously he's mistreated this dead horse, but it makes me think, what was he doing to the horses? What's he been doing to these horses when they were alive as well? If you're in that mindset of being that much of a prick to an animal, what is your mindset when the horse is alive?
Exactly.
Because
that's why
that's what would worry me is in getting out.
I think silence is compliance in this regard. So if there's no action taken, or like the action taken is just a load of shit, essentially whoever is taking that is just saying, oh well, not that bad, is it? Like, I think there needs to be well, there's like footballers that get banned. Like there was a story of like a footballer who when he was like 17 knew he was going to be selected for a squad, and like told his mates to bet on him, and one of them dobbed him in, and he literally got like a lifetime ban from any kind of like professional football. And that's literally like a tiny mistake, like when you're 17. Like this is a fully grown man who's like at the pinnacle of his career, and is clearly just a massive wanker, and has actually just been found out. So like there shouldn't be any kind of like, oh, let's give him a second chance, because clearly if you do that, you just, well, what's to say he's just going to do it again, and he won't have his mates taking photos of him this time.
Yeah, I feel like the reputation of the sport, doesn't matter if he's the best, he needs to go. It's like Lewis Hamilton's the best, but if like a photo emerges where he's like having sex with a car, you don't want him to be your number one driver.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'd rather someone did that than did what that person did to the horse.
Okay.
I think it's like animal welfare is like such a big thing, particularly at the moment, and like horse racing has, as you say, got a very bad reputation for mistreatment of animals. Whether that's rightly deserved or not, I don't know enough about it. But you know, every year the Grand National gets so much stick. Like he's not only fucked over himself, but he's fucked over everyone else who's like campaigning and trying really hard to. So that's, I think that
they'll be talking about this for weeks. Every single festival now, in the horse racing calendar coming up, it will be mentioned and referred to the whole time through, and it's just going to completely take away from what I think. I'm quite like keen on this animal welfare kind of stuff, but I don't think horse racing is that much of a. Like, I'm fairly for it. Like, I quite enjoy it. I'll bet on it. I'll watch it. Like, that's not really an issue for me. It's when they start pissing around doing things like this, so you think, what a twat.
Yeah. The general consideration is they're absolutely worshipped, and then a photo like this comes out, and the person that's key responsible for him is literally sitting on it when it's dead.
Yeah,
I've seen, but I just think there needs to be a forceful punishment by which it sets and it needs to set an example to others. Because I bet there's probably loads of people who train horses who are massive knobs and just don't get caught. Like it's the same with so much stuff in the world. Like if you don't get caught and no one knows about it, like people just crack on and do it. So I think you need to set a precedent that like anything to do with the mistreatment of an animal is not okay, and like
see, my opinion stands, and this without going into it too much detail, is that you can tell a lot about a person by the way they treat animals. I think you can completely judge a person based on how they treat an animal. And I'm not talking like eating meat and stuff like that, because obviously that's completely different. But I'm talking like if you like abuse an animal or something like that, then there's never been a nice person, a good person that's abused an animal. That it's just not possible.
Fair.
Nice.
Good
I know
topic.
he's
Good.
not that. I know it's quite serious. I've made it quite serious there, but I just I saw it and didn't think much of it because I knew it would annoy me if I looked into it. And now Sam's brought it up, and yeah, it has annoyed me.
Was his apology like? Was his apology like very much? Oh shit! I fucked up there. Sorry, lads.
Yeah.
Or was it like a? Yeah, it wasn't even a proper apology, was it?
So the jockey came out and he came across quite genuinely remorseful. Like, I'll do
Yeah.
anything I can, kind of
Yeah.
make the situation right. Whereas he was just like, yeah, you got me.
You got me.
Whereas
Yeah.
wanting to come out and be like,
Whoops.
I'm starting a horse charity right now. I'm so sorry. I'll do anything I can. I just didn't come across
Yeah.
as all.
Yeah, I mean, there's so
Once-
much more by the sounds of it, so much more he could have done and hasn't done, and therefore should be shown no consideration or empathy in the slightest, in my opinion.
Be interesting to see what actually happens. Be interesting to see whether he actually gets his comeuppance, or whether they pussyfoot around it and go, oh, seeing as you're like the big name in the sport, we'll just let you off. Be interesting to see whether they have the cojones.
Interesting.
Interesting.
No, it's interesting, Sam. That's a good little story to talk about.
All right. So leading on from what Sam's just chatted about, again, I seem to be coming with the deep ones week in, week out. It's kind of my niche, apparently. My topic of discussion this week is: do you think it is possible for a person to actually change, or do you think that like you're always going to be the same person and you can just like change like little bits of yourself? I'm talking like, like people who have become a criminal who are like in prison for fighting or like GBH, and they come out and they're like reformed and this better bloke. Do you think they're actually like totally changed, or do you think they've still got like that in them? Do you ever think you can like get rid of things from yourself? Does that make sense? A look of puzzlement on both of your faces.
Yeah, I think you need to ask Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, don't you?
Yeah, probably. Don't ask Callum because he'll see about that.
If you'd asked him that question, it would have made a 10 times better film, tell you.
I see. I just think it's like one of those things where you see how people develop and change, but you kind of see the same sort of mannerisms and ways of behaviour coming out in them. Like I've said this a couple of times before on the podcast, where I do think I'm like a different person to how I was even like 2-3 years ago. And I'm happy with where I'm at, but I definitely think that I'm in a way still kind of exactly the same. I think in some ways, I'm like more confident in myself. I stick up for myself a lot better than I did before, but I'm still the same in most ways. It's just I think I've kind of like grown
I'll give you
into
my
them.
opinion on that.
Go on then, hit me, Cal.
I think I will never not see you the way that I saw you when you were in year 9. No matter what you do, what you achieve, what you do, or anything like that, you will never change in my mind.
I'll still just be a little kid. Will I? You sound like my grandma.
Not that.
You sound like my grandma. She still thinks I'm about 5.
No, not that. Obviously, you've changed. You're a lot more confident. You were. You're beefed up a bit. You're wearing a hat backwards. You think you're cool and all this kind of stuff. That's great. But I know deep down that you're still the same bloke from year 9. A fucking gimp.
Well, that's the beauty. We've known each other 10 years.
Yeah. Oh shit.
That's
brilliant.
year 9's 10 years ago.
That's the wild, isn't it? That's wild.
Yeah. Do you think I've changed in 10 years?
Yes.
Not one bit.
No, actually.
Exactly.
Actually, Callum, you are one of the few people that I've met in my life that I feel like I could go like years without speaking to you, and I could come and speak to you, and it would be exactly the same as it's always been. That's what I say is like one of your like best qualities as a bloke is you just always just like sound and like not too judgmental. Because like back in the day I was a bit of a melt, wasn't I? And then you kind of took me in as your your little project. And
I
here
don't
am
want
now.
responsibility for this. I don't want responsibility for the man you are today.
Thanks, mate.
Because I know what you've been up to at uni, and I don't want any responsibility to that.
Yeah, let's not share that story.
In fact, I've got some great stories of you and uni. They make more interesting content than.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to share those in a public. Maybe once we're not on this. What about you, Sam? What do you reckon, mate? Do you reckon anyone will ever properly change, or do you think that you're always kind of just going to be the same? You just maybe develop a little bit to your character, really.
I think when you talk about the extreme cases, like people genuinely getting their life back on track, or finding God, or whatever you see in the movies.
Yeah,
I think people generally have to change sometimes. But I think when you take normal people like us, it's only the little changes. You probably think the same about me as I do you two. Like Callum's saying, you still think of us as year 9 kids when you first meet someone. So I guess that initial opinion never changes. Like you, and you're always the nice guy, put the effort in. Callum never really cared about anything, but could always make you laugh.
Yeah,
and that's not changed at all. Clearly.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
A little bit
I don't
more
know. I
angry.
think you've changed a bit, Sam.
Oh yeah.
Better trim for sure. Trim back.
Yeah,
in the
definitely
tables.
a better trim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've changed a fair bit. I think you come across a lot more laid back than you used to. Because in year 9, you were one of the most... You're still overly competitive. And I don't think that'll ever change. And I'm not saying that in a bad way at all. It's just that whenever we play volleyball or whatever, it feels like you're about to kill me every time I drop a ball or something.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But...
always been a bit vain.
feel,
always a try hard. That'll stay the same.
Yeah. But I feel like I feel like there's a slightly different side to you now as well. That's a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more chilled, if that made sense. But this topic's a load of shit, Ewan, to be fair, because it's just us bum licking each other for 30 minutes.
No, we're not bum licking each other. I just thought it was an interesting point. I feel like sometimes you meet someone and you're you see someone you haven't seen in ages and you're expecting one thing and you get something totally different. I'm just wondering whether you feel like that's an actual change or whether that's just a persona you're playing. Because I feel like there's people who are very different around, you meet someone in one situation, you're like, oh, they're like this, and you meet them in another situation. Do you think essentially we're just playing different personas when we meet different people, and actually we're always the same? We've just worked out a way to kind of act our way through certain situations. So I definitely think there are people out there that do that.
I'm sure there are, yeah.
There's been people I've met, and then you think, oh, they're the most confident bloke or girl ever, and then they have to stand up and speak in front of a group of people, and they shit their pants, all that kind of thing.
Well, that's slightly different, though, isn't it? You can have confidence in certain things. I'm really confident if I played you at FIFA.
Oh yeah,
I'm really confident.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
if we're talking
A 6-year-old,
we're going
FIFA,
to a lifting competition in the gym. Once again, really confident. But if we're thinking running a marathon, then I'm going to think really confident. But if we're, I can't think of an example. If we're thinking wearing a hat backwards, I'd have no confidence in wearing a hat backwards like that. Yeah,
yeah, I'm fully aware.
No confidence at all.
I'm fully aware I look like a knob, but I'm just embracing it. So
no, I don't think you look like a knob. I just wouldn't do it. I would have no confidence in doing it because I know people would say something, so I wouldn't bother. And also, I've got nice hair, so
thanks, mate.
Yeah,
nice.
It's difficult.
Very nice. Very nice backhanded compliment / abuse there from you. Well played.
I'd like to think that I'm relatively the same in every single friendship group and every single social interaction because I can't be bothered to try and think of a persona or try and be anything that I'm not. I know that sounds really fucking wet and all whatever, but I just can't be bothered.
That's pretty much all I had, boys. So if everyone said their piece, then I reckon that's pretty much.
Well, we never really got to the bottom of it, but my opinion is you're the person you are. You don't change. Maybe you change a little bit in certain social situations based on who's in the social situations. Obviously, you change in for more formal situations, stuff like that. But I reckon you're the same person from birth till you die. Just
develop your character a little bit, would you say?
Yeah, I think you develop skills more than character.
Unlock new levels.
Yeah, you just just grow what you had to start with. You're a bit right. Here you go. You're a bit like a coconut tree on the beach. You're always gonna be a coconut tree. So you start as a coconut, you grow. Oh look, a coconut. It's a skill. Oh look, a coconut. It's a trait. Oh look, a coconut. It's a characteristic. But at the end of the day, from start to finish, you are a coconut tree.
What a lovely analogy, Callum. What a lovely analogy. Thank you for that. Well then, I reckon we can probably move on to the questions that we've been sent in for Sam from various listeners. I've got a few here that have been sent in. Callum, do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
No, you take the reins. So I need to calm down.
Sam, do you want to know who they're from before or after they're given?
No, I think
Can I just quickly add as well? It's got to be like one word answers, as quick as possible answers.
Quick fire. So, first question is, why is your ego so big?
From birth.
Nicely played. Will you be modelling for Bowden sometime in the future?
Bowden.
What's
Bowden?
That was a waste of time. It's like a older person's fashion brand, I guess.
Or like Giacomo?
No, like
old people.
It's like a crew clothing kind of vibe, I think.
Oh yeah, maybe Silver Fox days.
Yeah. Opinions on CF Wessex.
Oh yeah, they're the boys.
Yeah. And I've only got one more on my page here.
I sent you loads more than that, you idiot.
No, you sent me one. Well, yeah, but I've chosen the ones I think are best, mate.
No, ask all of them.
Okay. Opinions on Prime Warzone Lockdown 1.
Yeah, needed it.
Yeah. Do you play Fantasy Premier League?
No.
Opinions of Jamshed Pro Clubs.
Yeah, that's my little brother's pro clubs team. Legends.
We've got some rogue ones now. Let's just go for all of these. Let's have them. What is your favourite colour toothbrush?
Blue.
Would you rather have a child like Ewan or a wife like his mum?
That's tough.
Because Ewan would be a great kid to have, and also his mum is a lovely woman.
She's a nice lady, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for wife like Ewan's mum.
I'd agree, yeah. Which is the best milkshake from McDonald's?
Banana.
Do you put GCSE PE netball on your CV? If not, why not?
Yeah, it's in the header.
Yeah, nice, good.
Free key tips for throwing a football far.
Lots of practice. Wind it up.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
You gotta drag your back foot kind of on its tiptoes. That's the secret.
What football team do you actually support?
Brighton, Chelsea.
Have you ever done a poo outside?
Must have done.
How fit would you say you are out of 10 in terms of looks?
8.5.
Why didn't you go on Made in Chelsea?
That's a stinker.
And then the very last question to finish off the show: how is he such a top shagger? Sent in by Sam Waller himself.
Then that answers Lewis's previous.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh,
that's it.
Well, is that it? Nice one. Cheers then. You got anything to plug, Sam? Anything you'd like to promote?
My two friends got this new podcast out. Show me the money.
Nice one.
There we go.
Well, I'll do the little sum up as well. Thanks very much, Sam, for coming on. If you enjoyed this week's podcast, be sure to drop us a like rating if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel as well. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts because we're on there now. That does help us get more listens. And yeah, we'll see you again next week. Oh, we're on social media as well at Hocus Pocus Podcast.
Thank you, Sam. Absolute pleasure. Legend.
Lots of love.
Cheers, mate. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Here
Bye,
comes
bye,
the
bye.
money. Dollar, 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 ching, 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 ching.